Hey folks, it's Mr. Mello here, Carmel High School Chemistry, and welcome to in-person learning. And the irony of me welcoming you to in-person learning via video is not lost on me at all. I get it. So a little bit about myself. That's one of the things I like about back to school night is getting to know my own kids' teachers. So Joe Mello. It's my 15th year at Carmel High School, 16 years teaching science. Um, I did some outdoor education before that out of Catalina Island. But this is why I do what I do. This is my family. Um, this is my wife, Amanda. She teaches science at Pacific Grove High School. She was in Montana this summer doing a master's in science education. She's somewhere in Yellowstone sampling hot springs or something. I'm not sure. This is my son, River. He's 11. He loves the ocean, bodyboarding, surfing, anything. That's my daughter, Laurel. She's 8. She likes making weird faces. She doesn't love fishing. She likes, I don't know, Disney musicals and purple things. That's our puppy, Allie. She's a Labradoodle, and she's awesome. This is my family on the desert trip, the Carmel High desert trip. I'm also a part of that. If you haven't heard about it, it's an amazing experience. Hopefully your kids get to experience it. But now let's talk about chemistry. What's going on in this classroom and how can you know what's going on a day-to-day basis? All right, the main place that everything is found is on the Google Classroom. So hopefully you remember Google Classroom from last year. Everything is in the classwork section. I organize it by week. And so every assignment is up there with a number that corresponds to the assignment in Aries. And so in Aries, number 12 should be an Ed puzzle, and it should correspond to this Ed puzzle. And they can click that, and it takes it to the Ed puzzle. So that is everything we've done since week 1. The one thing you do have access to is the daily presentation. So every day, whatever it is we're doing, if I clicked on that, it would open up this right here. And today is Terrific Trousers Tuesday. I was reviewing what should have happened in class yesterday and then using those equations to take us to the next step, which is solving density problems, solving for mass, solving for volume. There. And then how do I know the kids actually know things? There's Moodle quizzes. So this Moodle quiz has, I think, 3 calculations: solve for mass, solve for volume, solve for density. They might try that tonight and find that they don't know how to do that. And so that's good information for them. They know what they need to know, what they need to ask about. So they can come back into class and say, can you help me with this? So I can help them with that. This has, if they can just click through. And so I think there's a link in Aries. It says click link to a website, and that's this website. Every day, sometimes I will be adding notes there. So for example, they should have turned in a lab today with graphing. This is so I can write all over this board. And I'm moving things around, and I think it's fantastic. So I'll be putting pictures there of what's going on. If you want to know what's going on, you check out there. So that's the Google Classroom. Hopefully you got a chance to look over the syllabus. So the syllabus was posted on Parent Square. That was my first thing ever posting to Parent Square, and I think it worked. So you should have seen the syllabus, things you need to know. This is a to G science class, fulfills that D requirement, which is a lab course. So like 20% of the class should be in the lab measuring things with their eyeballs, not on a computer screen. So I'm excited to be in the classroom doing that. Estimated daily homework, it says 15 to 30 minutes. That Moodle quiz might take one kid literally 5 minutes, and someone else might spend 45 minutes on it. So that is, it's hard to tell, right? What do your kids need to have every day in class? Pencils, a graphing calculator or a scientific calculator. I have some graphing calculators. I realize kids have apps on their phone for scientific calculators, and if they use it on their homework, that's fine. On a quiz, they're not going to be able to use their phone. So there is the TI 30X2S which is about an $8 calculator. It does everything that we will ever need in this class and much more. And it comes in a variety of colors. So that, if they don't need one for math class, that's a great calculator. They're going to need that. Ideally, a binder. I have some binders if your student needs a binder. They need their Chromebook. I've given them a notebook that has graph paper in it. So they all got those recently. They should have completed Math 1 and Biology. Math 1, we're not going to use every skill in Math 1, but they do need to be comfortable with the math. So when we're using math to understand a bigger concept, the math is not going to freak them out. It's not going to throw them off. Like we're doing right now, we're talking about density. We're going to start talking about how closely packed molecules are and them sticking to each other and what happens with temperature. And so there was math involved, but we don't want the math to keep them back. So let's see. They should have passed math. If you would like to contact me, I do have a phone number. I always check my email. I don't always check my phone because I don't. I will, but this is the best way, and it's written down. So someone can say, "Mr. Mello, did you get my email?" And I can go, and it's there, and it's recorded. I don't delete emails because I always want to go back and I can search them. We will be covering more than just the high school chemistry you might be familiar with. So they changed the national standards to include more earth science. A lot of our students weren't getting any earth science when they did their bio and their chemistry and their physics. So we will be taking things like we're studying density right now, which is chapter 3 in the chemistry book. But we're going to start applying that to plate tectonics and weather. And then we will be looking at different gases and climate change. And when we talk about pH, we will be talking about the ocean. So we're going to try and take these normally just chemistry things and apply them to bigger things going on in the Earth system. Your students have taken a safety quiz. They know how to be safe. Most of them will be safe. We will break things, like glass will get broken. We try and keep it safe in here. We're going to use Bunsen burners. We will be burning things. No one's ever got hurt before. And if they're following instructions, they should be okay. They should have a textbook at home. If they don't have a textbook, they should have one. They should come to school. Grading. How do we get an A in this class? So the majority of their grade is based on their labs and their quizzes. So these are a lab says that they know what's going on and they know exactly how to do it. I'm pretty precise on how I grade labs, so I will grade them twice. So if just today I had kids, they're like, "Can I turn this in?" I totally forgot about it. And I said, "Well, you didn't do this." And they're like, they look at me, I said, "Okay, give it to me and I will tell you what you did wrong and you can fix it." So I will grade them twice because I want them to know how it's done correctly. And then for a lot of their quizzes are set up where they can take it more than once. So for example, they've got a Moodle quiz on density calculations coming up. They have to calculate density, they have to calculate mass, they have to calculate volume. I've got it set up where it changes the numbers. So they can't ask their buddy. Well, if they ask their buddy, "Hey, how do you calculate mass?" Well, you got to take the density equals mass over volume. You got to change it so it says M equals D times V. So that one's the density and that's the volume. And then you've got to have a conversation. You can't just copy things down. And they can keep working at it. So they find out what their questions are. Sometimes kids go into a quiz thinking they understand things. They take the quiz, they realize they don't. So I don't want it to stop there. I want them to get to the point where they do understand it. My late work policy, I'm not going to take any points off if kids do their quizzes late or their labs late. Like I said, I want them done right. So if that takes a little more time, then that's what it takes. If their homework now, like at the end of the semester, I don't want a kid giving me all their homework and saying, "I did it." So if we've already had the quiz on it and it's homework, the homework is there so that they learn how to do well on the quiz. So them doing it after the point where they've already been assessed is it's the points. And so they'll get 75% for late homework. Extra credit. I don't do extra credit. I think my quiz and lab policies give students plenty of opportunity to show what they know, and extra credit can be weird that way. So they need to make sure they do all the labs and all the quizzes. It's amazing how many people just don't turn things in, and I can't give kids credit for things they don't do. I almost said I wish I could, but no, there's certain things they need to do. So in general, what do you need to know? You should have access to the daily plan in Aries. There should be a link. You should ask your student to use Google Classroom anytime they're missing anything. And if you have questions, please email me and I will get back to you. Usually it's within 2 days. So I go through my email, and even if I don't answer every single email, I've looked them over to see which ones I need to address. So Mr. Mello, Chemistry, Carmel High School, and I will see you around. Thank you very much.